Roger Stone here with an urgent warning. While we celebrate Trump's historic win, inflation continues to drain your IRA and 401k. And China is now targeting your money with a kill shot on the U.S. dollar. That's why thousands of Americans are shielding their savings with gold and contacting the experts at Colonial Metals Group. Gold has protected American wealth through every financial war. For a free 2024 gold guide that explains everything, go to freegoldguide.com/stone or call 800-747-6589. So go to freegoldguide.com/stone or call 800-747-6589. That's 800-747-6589 for a free 2024 gold guide to learn how you can protect your life's work, and if you qualify for a free home safe and up to $7,500 in free silver right now. That's freegoldguide.com/stone.
A common sense recap of the day's biggest stories. It's John Catsimatidis and Rita Cosby. Katz and Cosby on 77 WABC.
And again, other big breaking news that the Biden administration has just quietly, they did it 2 days after Election Day, and we're just finding out it now, renewing $10 billion of Iranian sanctions, the waiver, so allowing them access to $10 billion, the enemy, the head of the snake, Iran, and doing it at this time. You just can't make this up. This is incredible. Joining us now is General Blaine Holt, retired U.S. Air Force Brigadier General, former C-17 combat commander, and also former U.S. Deputy Military Representative to NATO. General Holt, can you believe that the Biden administration, why would you ever do this anytime? But is he like trying to leave a disaster for Trump?
Yeah, it's great to be with you. It just confirms exactly what I've been saying now for weeks, is this administration's strategy on getting off the stage is lighting every dumpster fire they can around the world. They are intentionally creating chaos. They're manufacturing it. And you don't need clearer evidence than by the events that we see happening in Syria, money heading back to the mullahs so that the proxies can be reinvested in, and then pallets of cash, we're learning just hours ago, pallets of cash arriving in Damascus for the HTS rebels that the mainstream media is trying to paint into some sort of Jeffersonian democracy, Sons of Liberty unit. Really, they're just thugs, and they've already begun executions.
Wow. Judge Weinberg.
General, good to talk to you again. I'm very concerned about the role of Turkey and the future relationship that we have and our allies have with Turkey. They cannot be trusted, and they're a NATO country. What are your thoughts?
I'm aligned with you completely, Judge, and it's shocking that they would take advantage of the situation, but they had help. You know, I would love to see Senator Tuberville, who was just wonderful on your show. We need to have him question the folks from Langley, the folks from the Defense Department about what the relationships with Turkey are that would embolden them to create a new buffer to incubate this group, HTS. Erdogan is clearly trying to replace Iran as a regional hegemon. And what this does is it actually increases the possibility that one day Turkey, a NATO ally, will be at war with Israel.
Wow. You know, as we're talking about sort of adversaries, what do you make, General Blaine Holt, of all these drones? There are also reports coming out that there are these satellite images which are showing Iran's new drone carrier has set sail, leaving its home port for the first time. We have Congressman Jeff Van Drew of New Jersey saying that maybe the mothership had these drones. We've got reports of these, and the U.S. military, the State Department just came out and said they can't, it's not U.S. military, but they're also poo-pooing the Iran. But you can't help but say, wait a minute, Iran's been going after President Trump. They're hovering near Bedminster, New Jersey. That's a concern.
It's a huge concern. And it just, you know, go back to the Chinese balloons sailing over all of our sensitive sites, collecting intelligence. Thank goodness it didn't have an EMP on board, while the administration just completely shrugs it off as a triviality. Well, it's the same thing here, and I respect Representative Andrew greatly. And if he's got sources telling him that this is an Iranian ship and that these are drones from Iran, that's the best, most credible statement I've heard yet. So let me allay every American's fears that the Defense Department can't do anything about this. If we had the will in the Oval Office, I can tell you that ship would be commandeered. There'd be no drones coming off of it, and any drone that got airborne would either be frequency jammed out of the air or taken out by a helicopter. It's really shocking that they think so little of our national security, and they just flagrantly put this in our face, and then they pay the mullahs $10 billion.
General, this is Rudy Washington. You said something that I know 90% of our listeners probably didn't know what you were saying about an EMP, and that if it was detonated a mile above Central America, how many states would that knock out, roughly?
Potentially all of them. It depends on your altitude, the type of airburst.
Exactly. Exactly.
But you could take us back to 1872 in our communications capability.
Exactly. Put us back in the Stone Age.
It'll knock out our satellites. It'll knock out our
your
communications,
lights,
GPS.
everything. All your computer chips.
Yeah, explain what it could do.
You don't let any air vehicles get over the United States like that. That's one of the reasons why. I don't believe an adversary would do that because they would want our infrastructure. What I worry about is the bread truck in New York City nobody can see that could do an EMP pulse and take out most of the water pumps that keep Manhattan dry. There are several things in a fifth-generation warfare setting. Well, wait a minute, Blaine, they would need personnel here. Oh, they have them. Millions of fighting-age men are amongst us, including the People's Liberation Army, GRU units from Russia, IRGC units from Iran, and all of the terror groups are represented here.
And look what we did asymmetrical, not us, but Israel, with the pocket pagers or walkie-talkies. I mean, So warfare is fought at a different level now.
It is, and it's in a very different domain, and most Americans can't see it because it's not reported on. But just all the lights at an intersection turning green at the key moment that a high-value target from America is going through the intersection, that can be done from Beijing.
Well, guess what? You probably heard this, Blaine, but just a little bit ago, this Chinese national just got arrested for flying a drone. He was taking aerial images, and it was a day that they were doing some secret training at Vandenberg Air Force Base. It happened last month, but he was getting on a plane today, and they just busted him. And guess where he was going back to with the images? To China.
Exactly. And, we're not doing enough. We still have governors that think it's okay to have these under wraps People's Liberation Army police stations like Minneapolis, New York, San Francisco. They don't interdict them, and they let them just grow back like blossoms. They don't take our security seriously. And so what has to be asked in the new administration is who got paid off? Where's the corruption in all of this? Who violated their oaths to the Constitution? It's not about revenge. It's if we don't reinstall the rule of law and have accountability for those who would betray the United States, then we don't have a country.
General, I mean, any opinions what the heck is going on? Who has the courage of the foreign, if it's foreign nations, who has the courage to do it? But if it's beyond that and it's from the 18th agency that theoretically exists, is it, who knows?
Yeah, the deep state is going to have to be dealt with, and it's going to be things like DOGE, where we decide we've got 80% too much federal government sitting in the swamp, where we've got too many agencies headquartered in D.C. that are close to K Street and all of the power and the money. But there's also going to be an accountability piece for folks who have literally politicized their own agencies, used these woke strategies to get in their favorite person who identifies as a unicorn, and co-opt the United States. But what we have to find out is who on both sides of the aisle is involved in this, because I'll tell you what, this doesn't know a political party. There's no political party that monopolizes this stuff. It happens on both sides of the aisle, and we've got to get to the bottom of it. And I believe that President Trump and the team that he's assembling are the exact serious people to get this work done, and it has to be done.
Well,
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, General, and thank you for everything you do for our country. You have done for our country and continue to speak out for our country. And God bless America. Thank you.
God bless America. Thank you so much.
Thank you, General.